right, guys, so the climate change rioters slash protesters are out in full force this week, following Greta Thunberg's thunderous trademark blah 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 climate change speech at the Glasgow Climate Summit earlier this week.
Change is not going to come from inside there. That is not leadership. This is leadership. This is what leadership looks like. We say no more blah blah blah. No more exploitation of people and nature and the planet. What do we want? When do we want it? Now! What do we want? When do we want it? Now! No more blah blah blah. No more blah blah blah.
So yeah, that's Greta Thunberg giving her blah 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 speech while Sleepy Joe was sleeping at the climate change summit in Glasgow. But Joe Manchin here is the topic of this video, as following this climate change conference, there's been a whole lot of protests going on around the country in regards to climate change. Now, Joe Manchin is the target of these protests, and Kyrsten Sinema as well too, because these climate activists, for whatever reason, believe that spending trillions of dollars, right, will somehow stop climate change, which is a global problem that they probably should go and protest in China about. Right? They should probably go protest in China about, considering how they're leading the world in emissions. But, you know, the actual facts never really matter here. They just want to, again, target certain politicians because they believe that Daddy Joe Biden is going to save the world. That's what they believe. So, as you guys remember, Joe Manchin agreed to an initial framework on the Build Back Better plan, like $1.75 trillion. However, he's kind of backed away from that, basically saying, you know what, we need the actual text of the bill, right? Before we can vote on anything, we need the text of the bill. We should just vote on the bipartisan infrastructure bill instead, which to me signals that he probably doesn't want to pass it at all, right? Which I'm pretty sure that's his actual position. He's really just stalling out to try to seem reasonable to the Democrats. But I don't think he actually wants to do it. And I think these people know that he actually don't want to do it, which is why they're going after him so hard. Now, before, you know, we've seen these protesters really ratchet up their protests against Joe Manchin, Kyrsten Sinema, following Kyrsten Sinema into the bathroom, you know, following Kyrsten Sinema into a wedding, right, in the airport, everywhere, right? We saw them at Joe Manchin's boat. And now they're blocking the man's car, right? They're blocking the man's car and then claiming that he tried to run over him. This is the classic bait and switch victimhood tactic from the left. But let's read about this, because this is honestly insane, because these people are actually losing their minds along with the mainstream liberal media. Basically, everybody on the left is losing their minds right now because Biden is just doing so terribly, right? So let's read here. A group of climate change protesters boasted about blockading Democratic West Virginia Senator Joe Manchin's car on Thursday, accusing the moderate lawmaker of trying to run them over in his attempt to drive through a parking garage. The senator has also gotten attention for the vehicle he was driving. Apparently, he's driving a Maserati, right? He's driving a Mazzy, and the left got a problem with that. It's like, you ain't supposed to be driving a Maserati. And I'm like, hey, well, you know, we can ask questions about politicians and how much money they make, but if we gonna start asking questions about this, we need to ask questions about Nancy Pelosi first and her world-class stock trading portfolio that performs better than the world's best hedge funds, right? We need to go to her first, right? Quote, we blockaded Joe Manchin's car and he tried to run us over. A TikTok video posted by Hungry for Climate Justice showing the confrontation states. The clip shows a group of protesters standing in front of and behind a luxury vehicle in a parking garage holding a banner, while at least one person leaned on the vehicle's hood. Others filmed themselves while yelling at the driver. The constant sound of a car horn can be heard throughout, but it was not clear if it was Manchin honking. This is Joe Manchin's car slowly pressing against our peaceful protesters. A person says, we want to live, we want to live. That phrase, along with F Joe Manchin, was the rallying cry of the demonstration aimed at convincing Manchin to support President Biden's multi-trillion-dollar Build Back Better spending package. All right, to the juicy part. The actual footage. Let's watch this madness.
We blockaded Joe Manchin's car, and he tried to run us over.
Bruh, If I'm Joe Manchin, I would be heated, dog. Like, apparently he's driving a Maserati, right? You got these people, these broke leftists, leaning against my Mozzie, denting up my car, scratching up my car. Boy, I would be heated, bro. But they're sitting here accusing this man, as you can see in the video, of trying to run them over. But yet you're in the way. You're chanting, "We want to live," but you got in the front of a car that's trying to get out of a parking garage, but you're saying, "We want to live." And you're also accusing Joe Manchin of trying to run you over. This is how insane these people are, right? They put themselves in danger and they want to claim victim because Joe Manchin is simply trying to drive his car out of the parking garage. Now, here's the thing. They're lucky that Joe Manchin wasn't in a certain state, right? The best state in the union. They're lucky that he wasn't in that state where he could legally, just keep on driving, right? They're lucky. But again, this type of stuff, these tactics, man, it's getting out of control because it wasn't just there. These protesters surrounded the whole parking garage. They literally tried to trap the man in the parking garage. Now, again, I'm all about peaceful protest. If you want to peacefully protest, go for it, right? But when it starts to get to the level of basically violence and harassment, okay, this is when I'm like, all right, this is not what we should be doing. And again, where's the left-wing liberal media on this saying, hey, you know what? Maybe y'all should stop harassing these politicians like this. This is getting dangerous. Matter of fact, I'm going to keep it 100 with you. I'm going to keep the whole buck. From everything I've seen in regards to Joe Manchin, Kyrsten Sinema, they seem to have been in potentially way more danger than what happened to some of these politicians on January 6th. I mean, I'm being for real. Because on January 6th, the politicians were all surrounded and protected, right? They was huddled into certain rooms. That doesn't mean they weren't in danger, but I'm just saying. Joe Manchin, Kyrsten Sinema, they've had direct contact with these lunatics, following them in the bathrooms, trying to blockade them, right? Showing up to their homes, their boats. If the liberal media wants people to take political violence seriously, why are they not speaking out against this? I don't understand. Thomas Kennedy, who describes himself on Twitter as a Democratic National Committee member and known agitator, shared a different view of the incident posted by the group Hunger Strike for Justice. Kennedy tweeted, "Watch Joe Manchin drive his car into protesters who are demanding that he stop blocking climate provisions in the Build Back Better package on behalf of the fossil fuel and corporate interests. What an awful, selfish, greedy man." Okay, listen, before I play this video, West Virginia is a cold state, bro. Like, I don't understand. He's a senator from West Virginia. Regardless of the business interest in West Virginia, it is probably in Joe Manchin's constituents' best interest, right? In regards to their jobs, in regards to their livelihoods, to be opposed to the far leftist climate agenda. Again, regardless of what you believe the impact is on the world, he's a senator from West Virginia. His job is literally to worry about the citizens of West Virginia when it comes to passing certain legislation, right? His job is to do what's best for the citizens of West Virginia. So, of course, the man is going to try to protect the coal industry. That's his job, right? That's what he was voted to do, okay? It's really that simple. Yeah. So as you guys can see, yeah, these people are literally everywhere. How is this not harassment, man? And you can hear them outside of the parking deck, guys. Outside of the parking deck. This is crazy. They're saying the man was trying to run him over because he's trying to get out. What do they expect the man to do? What do they expect him to do? Just to sit there, right? Just to sit there until he agrees? Wow. If you want to live, get from out front of the car. Also, this idea that somehow you're going to die if this bill is not passed is ludicrous and ridiculous. Because again, even if you believe the science on climate change, first of all, most people that are alive today, we're not going to feel the full brunt of it, right? That's if you believe the science. We're not going to feel the full brunt of it. And also on top of that, you live in a developed nation, right? So you live in a developed nation, more than likely developed nations are going to be able to adapt. Now, if you lived in like Bangladesh or one of these other third world countries that seem to be at risk, yeah, you might actually have a point, right? But you live in America, right? A developed nation that can adapt if you believe the science, right? If you believe the science on this stuff, right? So again, this whole, oh, it's life or death for us, it's ridiculous.
No Manchin, the children of West Virginia matter. They matter more than your home life. They matter so much more than your expensive car. They matter so much more than the clothes you're wearing. Joe Manchin, why won't you fight for me? Joe Manchin, is it worth it? Is the money worth it? Is the money worth selling a teacher downriver? Joe Manchin, is the money that green? Is it that good for you? Is the money that important, Joe Manchin? Is it
Oh my God. Bro, this is terrible. These people are nuts.
Is money better than our lives? Is it better than my life?
Wow. And they try to tell you that, hey, there's no left-wing extremists. There's no extremists on the left. Guys, these people look like extremists to me, right? They look like extremists to me. But again, I don't know what their end game is here. You think that harassing politicians is going to get them to say yes to what you want, right? You think this is going to convince Joe Manchin? Oh, yeah, I should definitely just sign on to this because, you know, these guys are blocking me from getting out the car. You don't know where he got to go. You don't know if he has an emergency. You don't know what's going on. If he got some type of medical thing going on, you have no clue whatsoever. And they don't block the whole parking garage, guys. The whole parking garage. It's nuts. It's insane. And the left-wing liberal media, they're silent on this. But they want to lecture people about, oh, extremism. Let's Go Brandon is a threat towards Joe Biden, right? Let's Go Brandon. Okay, Let's Go Brandon is a threat. But F Joe Manchin and blocking the man from getting out of a parking garage, following him to his boat, his home, right? To this place and to that place. Oh, yeah, no, not a threat. Not worth covering. Not worth talking about in the left-wing liberal media. Interesting. But when it comes to their extremists and the things that they want, they have nothing to say. They never call it out. If these were right-wing protesters protesting against a Democrat politician, again, it would be all over TV. MSNBC, CNN, oh, right-wing extremists threatening Democrat politicians, right? We know what it would be. But because it's left-wing lunatics protesting about climate change, it's silence. They have nothing to say. But again, they want to lecture about extremism when, in my opinion, the most extremism I've seen in this country, especially the last 2 years, has exclusively come from the left. But that's just me. I'm just saying. Regardless, I don't think that any of these tactics are going to change Joe Manchin or Kirsten Sinema's mind. But hey, who knows? Maybe they'll fold the way Biden seems to be folding on this issue, and maybe they will go left. I don't know. But let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.